Remember when they rebooted the Powerpuff Girls? I'm sure you remember when it premiered though, because despite just being called the Powerpuff Girls, most people call it Powerpuff 2016. I reviewed the first couple episodes. The first I thought was meh, the second was god-awful. But I'll admit, the few episodes I saw after that I thought were actually alright. They weren't great, but the few episodes I watched from that early version of the show, I thought showed potential. Then apparently the show went off the goddamn rails. From bad implications to the people working on it being outed as creeps and pedophiles, this show certainly developed a passionate hatedom. I haven't seen so much hate for a show in a while, and unlike Teen Titans Go, it didn't develop a fan base and was cancelled after 3 seasons. I had no intention of ever touching the show again, but now I have to. Thankfully, this is early in the series, so it might be okay. This is the Squashening.
Halloween!
Woo! Arbor Day! The girls are trick-or-treating with Buttercup as a skeleton Viking, Bubbles as Penguin Unicorn, oh wait, that's its nose, and Blossom as Mary Queen of Scots.
I can't believe nobody's getting my costume! I mean, I'm Ada Lovelace, one of the greatest mathematicians of all time!
Okay, I'll give credit. I actually had to Google if that was a real person, and it turns out she is, and she sounds very interesting, so props for that one. Apparently they only brought one bag to share between the 3 of them, and Bubbles keeps eating all the candy.
Well, according to my list, we've been to every house in the neighborhood except that one.
Hold on, you've gotten candy from almost every house and Bubbles has eaten all of it? Well, to be fair, they are made of sugar, so I guess I can't expect them to get a diabetic coma. So the owner of the house is a giant squash, K, and he's angry they took more than one from his candy bowl. I'm getting flashbacks to that Fanboy and Chum Chum episode. So he's angry at being called a pumpkin.
You 3 are about to find out just how scary a spaghetti squash can be! I'm going to crush you into next year's Halloween candy!
Hey girls! Heat vision!
If we can scare you with one of our stories, will you let us go?
Bitch, you have ice breath! Why do you keep forgetting you have powers? If you didn't want to make a Powerpuff Girls show, just make something new. Oh goody, we're ripping off regular show's Terror Tales from the Park. That was only a few months before the show ended, so it's like they were pissing on its grave. So Buttercup's story is called Night of the Living Bread, about zombie bread.
Well, it may be a zombie bread apocalypse, but at least we're spending it together as a family.
Okay, that was funny.
Except for Buttercup, who took on all of those pumpernickels by herself so we could escape. She truly was the coolest.
Alright, I'll give it this. At least the characters in a story being told by Buttercup are acting how I'd imagine she wishes they would act. And also, there's living bread in this story called Night of the Living Bread. Where were you on that one, Bobby's World and Extreme Dinosaurs? The bread invades the house, and of course the mayor was bitten. I'm sure he was the first one to go.
I'm gluten-free. It's more expensive.
Oh great, princess. Oh hey, Mojo's in this show?
Sorry, buddy. Better luck next time.
Well, thanks for that 1 second of one of the best villains from the original show. Blossom got bitten, but she kills her. However, before they can escape, they've stopped by Dracula.
Introducing Dracula now?
It's a twist.
It's a hack move.
Do I need to review this? It seems the episode's pointing out the problems itself. So I guess we just give up on that story to move on to Blossom's story called Blossom Stein.
Ah, my dearest Jared. Long and cold has been the winter in my heart.
Who wrote this episode? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, short tangent. This character, a love interest of Blossom, was modeled after and voiced by Jake Goldman, one of the writers. And a lot of people said this was creepy of him, a grown man, to basically put a self-insert fan character to be the love interest of a little girl. But to be fair, this was not Goldman's idea. It was a joke by the artists and they let him voice him. So no, I don't think he's a pedophile or they had any ill intent. Now the implications are still there and they should have realized that, but whatever, it's old news by this point. Shoshi brings Jared back to life, and I will say I like the sound design in this part. It makes it really sound like an old movie.
Hello? Yeah, I hear you've been working on building a monster.
Go away! You were already one of the lesser villains in the original show, we don't need the watered down version. Jared is scared by fire and the townspeople chase him, but Blossom Stein is more worried about the mess they're making. This doesn't impress the Squash, so Bubbles takes a shot at it with a gourd to remember, which I'm pretty sure isn't even a pun. So this story is about a Squash who has it all. I do like that they have Bubbles as a little yellow dog, similar to the episode of the original show.
You're fired, Tony.
Oh my god, you have such a wide arsenal of villains to choose from. Why her? So he's fired because of the pumpkins, but after a giant pumpkin starts attacking the city, he goes to fight. But they fall in love and, you know, I really don't care. Well, what did the Squash think of it?
It's true. I love pumpkins. That's why I drive them away.
What?
You know what? You're right. Here! You should take all the candy! I gotta go see about a jack-o'-lantern.
Why do I feel he's gonna do unspeakable things to that jack-o'-lantern?
Surrender all your peony candy to Mojo Jojo! Great. Another Ada Lovelace?
Finally, someone gets it.
That wasn't great. It's better than Princess Buttercup, I'll give it that much. And I can't even say I was ever angry at it like with Wild Zombies, it's just boring. It copies the regular show formula, but not even well, as the first two stories don't have an end. But probably the most surprising is that this episode has literally zero superpowers. Now I'm not saying every episode needs action and superheroes, but there is not one point where the girls use their powers in this, despite having a reason to. With only a couple exceptions, we don't even see them fly. Halloween Factor is pretty mediocre too. The stories aren't that creative, the costumes are okay, and it doesn't have any atmosphere. I'll give the episode a 4 and Halloween Factor a 5, and even that might be a little generous. You know, watching this and comparing it to the Teen Titans Go episode I covered 4 years ago, I realize now why this show died while TTG is still going strong, because at least that show has some personality. This show is just nothing. Alright, I feel this should be easy to figure out. I don't know. What do we got for 2017? Fine.
I happen to know a thing or two about Scary.
You, the girl dressed like a peacock lady?
Ugh, whatever.